Hey, what is up, everybody? Brabble Boy here, back with another anime video. Now, you guys really haven't seen much from me in like I think 2 weeks. I think it was, and the last video that doesn't even count because it was me laughing like Moria. So I'm back and I'm willing to give more content. Although I think I'm going to finish off. We'll see how it goes, but for the time being, I think I'm done with just One Piece exclusive chapter reviews. Um, I know I have my mind on all sorts of different series now. I'm now like binged up with I've been binging lots of new series as the year has gone by. Now I'm caught up with a lot of these mainstream series that I'm reading weekly and watching weekly. I wanted to start this where I just kind of less like in depth but more briefly just go over my thoughts on certain things, skip over a lot of parts, but certain things from each chapter of weeks. And it will not be the same things every week because like there's some monthly releases I read like Vinland Saga, um, Hajime no Ippo. Now those chapters are really short, so I'm not going to talk about that unless there's something super interesting that happens. And right now they're just playing like some gambling game, and I think it's mostly like comedy driven and like character exposition driven. So I might do like bulk reviews of like the last couple chapters for that. And then Grand Blue is going to take a while to come out, but yeah, for the time being, this one, basically all I'm going to focus on is One Piece, Black Clover, My Hero Academia, and Mashle. You gotta love Mashle. So without any further ado, let's get right into this, starting out with One Piece. Now, cover story, gotta love the Sea Ray Jude. This cover story is funny. She just seems amused with how the lobster is, or I think that's supposed to be a lobster. Oh, it's a scorpion. I'm sorry. Yeah, I should learn my crustaceans. But yeah, the scorpion giving her the flower, I think is great. It's great to see Ray Jude again. I just love these little fan requests. We get to this chapter and we see Luffy is just wailing on Kaido. I think honestly, like my opinion at the moment is that Luffy in Gear Fourth form can contend with anybody in this series. Like after seeing this display, if Luffy were like always in his Gear Fourth state, I think after this Ryuo boost that he's gained, he is beating anybody. Now, obviously, there's like, in terms of physicality, at least, because there's lots of like instances where like, oh, they have a special power that like, say like Fujitora, um, can repel him or something. Like that would be a hurdle Luffy would have to climb. But in terms of sheer physicality, I think he is the strongest in the verse temporarily, um, when he's in this state. Because clearly Kaido's not countering, and maybe that might not be the case because when we see Kaido's hybrid form, and then maybe see something Big Mom has to offer, that very well could change. But from what we know, this Luffy has displayed the best physicality we have seen in the series. From him wailing down on Kaido like this, even Kid is impressed. Like, and Kid's reaction after Luffy is deflated is like, oh, well, I guess it makes sense. Like he's not like a weak straw hat. He can't maintain that strength. What a drawback. But no, he understands how strong Luffy is, and I actually like this for Kid. He's like, oh, those cultures did good damage, so it makes sense that he can't maintain this. And like, obviously, it shows that Kid has not reached that ceiling. But I do think, overall, Kid is going to show us that he is not a slouch. I don't like this whole Zoro is stronger than Kid agenda. I don't like this whole. My friend Tokyo Tron did a poll that said, who was stronger without time skip, Zoro, Luffy? Get out of here with your Zoros, man. I prefer Zoro. I'm a Zoro fanboy. He's my third favorite Straw Hat, but no, I'm not going to stand by that because Kid deserves the respect that he needs, and I think he is going to pull something cool out of his sleeve. And you can laugh at me all you want once this is over, and if that actually happens to be the case where he does not have anything to show us, but I think Kid is definitely going to impress us pretty soon. I mean, it's gonna be pretty soon, unless we cut away from the rooftop sometime, which very well could be. Chapters that end in silhouettes, a lot of the time Oda was be like, nope, let's go see Jinbei versus Husu. And honestly, um, as much as I like this fight, I am fine with wherever Oda takes us. If we continue this fight, that's awesome. If we move to Usopp and Nami versus Ulti and Page One, that would be sick. It'd be sick to see Sanji versus Black Maria. That's probably the one I'm least excited about, but it's still gonna be sick. Frankie versus Sasuke. I think that's the least likely we're gonna see next. But it could happen. I'm scared that Brooke and Robin are relegated to support right now. I really hope that they're not just going to be support and running around helping people as they ascend slowly. That would suck, in my opinion. I want them to get good fights. And Jinbei versus Husu is the one I probably want to see the most because Jinbei, we haven't actually seen like a good fight from him. We've seen him like one-shot Moria, and we've seen that we know that he has fought people, but we haven't really seen him like one-on-one anybody. So I want to see Jinbei. This is it's just awesome, the developments. When Luffy's deflated, Zoro catches him, but then Kaido eats Luffy. And Zoro hits him back with the Dragon Twister. It's just Oda is constantly hitting us with these awesome Zoro moments, like literally consistently. Ever since chapter 997, I think, was the chapter where Zoro like cut down Apu and took the vial. I think that's really cool. Like Kaido does his Dragon Twister is like, let me show you my own Dragon Twister, and he does it. And as much as I like this, I hate that there's only one sword cut. I hate. I'm gonna make a whole video on this. So I'm not gonna spoil this too much, but I hate Enma. I'm hating Enma right now. From what we're seeing, I hate how Oda is handling Enma. I really don't want Enma to continue like this. I want to see more strength from Zoro rather than from this sword just because if it was a strong sword. I think, well, I'm not going to explore that. You guys go watch my next video on Enma. I don't know next video. I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm making a video on Enma. That much is a promise. And then we cut to the CP0, which is awesome to see CP0. I kind of forgot they were here. I think a lot of people did. Like, I didn't know they were still here. They must have been waiting for like a deal to actually be undergone, and maybe they were waiting for Orochi to actually like give it to them. So Orochi's like, oh, we can do it diplomatically at a big banquet that we're about to have, and they are obviously fine with that, and they're fine with the results right now. They're just pretty much third partying, which makes sense to do, and I think this is like a small scale example of why people like the revolutionaries would come, want the world government would come, because why would it be in their interest to expend resources on two of their enemies clashing out and taking each other out? They could come in after and take the benefits. Just that's what Blackbeard's been knowing the strategy since day one. Blackbeard, that's why he has two fruits, is because he waited out Marineford. He waited till Whitebeard was pretty much on his deathbed, and then he comes in and has like literally like 100-something bullets shot into him by him and his whole crew. He take his fruit. No one's there to stop him. Everybody's all weakened from the war. Everybody should take notes from Blackbeard, and the fans clearly need to take notes from Blackbeard as well. Last thing, I like all the shots of all the Straw Hats. It's a fun reminder that they're there. I hope this means we're gonna get a cutaway soon. But we'll see how that goes. Also love that we see that Beppo is there. Beppo and the Heart Pirates. Beppo, Jean Bart. We don't actually see Jean Bart. We see Shotzi and Penguin though. It's good to know that they made it on. I was kind of scared that their submarine would stay down as the island was lifted up, but it's good to see that they're there and they're fighting. But anyways, let's move on to the next series. All right, so Black Clover chapter this week had me somehow like have very polarizing opinions within my own mind. Like at the one point, like it made me furious, and some other aspects it made me really happy, and then another ways really hype. So we'll see how it goes. This demon that I honestly can't even remember where it came from. This massive demon. I hope we get an explanation. I'm assuming it came from like an opening in the rift that they're beginning to open with after capturing Yami and Vengeance. But yeah, we don't really get any highlight on Melioriona, who was kind of bodying this demon earlier. And this demon's kind of absorbing magic through its wings, so it's getting exponentially stronger. The capital's left to defend itself with whatever resources you have, which you wouldn't think are a lot, because you think the Wizard King's small. He's a little boy. He has no magic anymore. And then like the Magic Knights aren't even there. So what we have left is the things we didn't even consider, which are like the royalty, not like Kita, that guy, Kita Clover, whatever his name is. He's not getting out of his throne. He's gonna run away and have freaking what's his name, Haya guy to protect him, even though his magic is probably stronger by nature. But anyways, yeah, it's cool to see the purple vortex, the purple orca guy. He has vortex magic, which is really interesting. It's just cool to like learn of all these different powers, but no one's really able to do anything. We see Mimosa's brother and a couple of Noel's siblings trying to do anything, and all of them are pretty much ineffective. Like lots of like pretty much no-name Magic Knights are doing a ton of stuff. And yes, I would include the purple orca guy as a no-name Magic Knight. He's pretty much the lamest captain out of all of them. And like the second lamest is probably the older, the old, former purple orca captain. He is, so the purple orcas are pretty lame. There's no one relevant from them. Next to the aqua deer, who really only have their captain. But yeah, they're not really able to do anything. But what was cool was to see Damnatio, who I kind of forgot he was even there. But I guess, yeah, this guy is strong. His magic is very interesting. It can pretty much contend with any level of opponent because it just kind of balances the playing field, which is really cool. So it was cool to see Damnatio was fighting and protecting them. So with all these forces, you think maybe they can do it. And then the thing that made me really angry about this chapter was that Julius was able to. I'm already angry that Julius is alive, and he's kind of become like top three, or I guess say bottom three favorite characters for me at this point because like I hate that he's alive. He was like pretty okay. He was like a good role model figure, interesting, strong guy before, but then like the fact that he died and then he wasn't dead because of his time magic was like okay, it's kind of a cop out, but it's whatever. But even still, like if he's a small dude, he shouldn't be Wizard King. Wizard King should be strong. And this explanation is that he's able to advance his body's time. Like, no, you had to spend your time, you had to use your time to like preserve your body in a thing. Like you had to buy the time magic you had to give yourself a 14-year-old body. It's stupid if you should be able to excel it. Obviously, there are drawbacks to this. Like his abilities are limited, but like if he's like only able to do it for a short amount of time, I guess, or it like limits the amount of magic he's able to use. I don't know. But I think it's stupid. I think this guy should have been dead. It would have been really cool to see like a sort of election arc, like maybe make Vengeance. No, okay, at the time, if you think about it, Vengeance would not have become the new Wizard King after he literally was the whole reason for allowing whatever her name is, fake Licked to join into the kingdom. But it would have been, I guess that's probably the only reason because Vengeance is like the best bet. But like maybe you could have made Fuegoleon or someone the Wizard King. Like I don't know, dude. I just don't think Julius should be alive. I think that's a bad storytelling point. But he uses his magic and he already turns back into a kid and everything's hopeless. But then Asta comes back and he is about to activate Devil Union form and chapter's over. This is a moment of truth because if Asta is able to pull this off, and the temporary Wizard King couldn't do it, the captain of the Purple Orcas couldn't do it, along with several Magic Knights combined. If Asta's efforts are able to take on this devil, we could be seeing more promotions. I wish promotions were more like available in story. Like we've seen once, I think, that he moved up like a couple divisions in the Magic Knight system, which I honestly don't even remember. But I want to see Asta like become like very recognized in the kingdom if he's able to pull this off, because honestly that's kind of like it's like bounties in One Piece. I want to see Asta achieve a high rank. It's sort of the same thing, the same appeal to me personally. Like honestly, Black Clover is one of his strongest suits is that it has very well choreographed fights, but I am, as much as I do love those fights, but I am like more interested in stories on like world implications and how those characters are grown in the perception of the world and in the perception of their friends after the feats they accomplish. That's just more interesting to me personally. But yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this chapter. Let's move on to Mashle. Now, the Mashle universe is always giving us like cool new things to explore, like these giant monsters that are apparently like unbeatable, and like all this line business. It's just lots of interesting stuff. And he's like, man, I don't know how to handle this. He punched him. He was able to make him recoil, but apparently they just don't go down for some reason. And like we don't need an explanation for something like Mashle. So it's funny stuff. They're able to get away, and he meets this third year who from his dorm. So it's like the first time we meet like a person from his dorm that isn't like necessarily in his party, and it's cool to meet like different classes. Like I always love when like high school settings like show like other grades and levels, because like you look at My Hero Academia, we meet like 3 third years, and then we don't know any second years, and then it's just all first years. So I like when they explore stuff like that more. I always eat that stuff up. But we meet this guy. This guy has growth magic, which is kind of lame sounding, but he's a double liner, so it must have some practical use. And it's really funny in this chapter. He's able to convince this guy to spin or to make it bigger, which would make the balloon even harder to get the key. But Mash goes under and he break dances and he forces it to blow away, and they can grab the key. Like this is the stretchiest things ever. It's so funny to me though. You gotta love Mashle. Every week it's a hit. I don't know. There's not much to say. I mean, it's a comedy manga. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this chapter. Let's move on to My Hero Academia. Now, for My Hero Academia, I love the way this story is turning. We're on chapter 300 now, and all of these like moments are really cool. Like the fact that the heroes are like slow, like they've lost respect because of the speech of this one guy, Dabi, and like a lot of what he said was correct. And now the citizens are responding accordingly, and we see this cool example through Wash. Like obviously, we already know that a lot of the heroes are retiring, and we even see like big heroes are retiring, like I don't remember his name. This he was like the number 9 hero, Yoroi Musha. He's like this old hero who was like a symbol of the community for such a long time, but he retired recently. And it shows like how heavily this event impacted the minds of heroes, or if it's like they're scared of being a hero at this point, or they're like feel responsible for not being able to act and don't feel worthy. Either way, they're losing heroes, and citizens are even acting on their own now, and it's leading to this mass destruction. So, in result of that, instead of calling heroes and waiting for it to play out, they just like fight amongst themselves, and the hero hears about it eventually, but they get there and there's nothing to do. And I think this is a really interesting like turn for the story. And the heroes are like constantly losing respect. And we see a powerful image of like the statue of All Might, and it like placed it like vandalized over it. It says, "I am not here." And that's really powerful. It's really cool stuff. Um, I what's interesting is what's coming is the obviously Endeavor's the number one hero, and people are blaming him because he's a very easy scapegoat. Like Endeavor is the son of Dobby, in like with this turn of a generation where he's the new number one hero, and he's not as the same as All Might, who everyone thinks, oh, everything was great when All Might was around, and now Endeavor just doesn't live up to that. Everybody's thinking that, and he's obviously the easiest person to blame on the planet, rightfully so somehow, for maybe letting Dobby go, and that's kind of a justified way of thinking, but not really a good idea to pin it all on the person that is most fit to saving you. But next chapter, we're going to get an interaction between the Todorokis together talking about Dobby, and I hope this gives us some good exposition, or rather a background on how like he left the family, what the relationship between the family was. And I hope this also leads to mending, because the mom has finally left her hospital room after like how many years. um I don't these last couple chapters have all been great. Like I'm loving, I'm really excited to see like what sort of turn the story makes and how they find their way out of this. And like even if like some students like quit the school, no, we just don't know. I don't imagine any of the main cast will leave, just because of how a lot of them are like very catered towards special interests. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this. Um, if I had to rank these 4 chapters, this week, it would probably go Mashle, One Piece, Black Clover, My Hero Academia. Just because like all of these chapters have been hits, and as exciting as the One Piece chapters, this one was a little bit not as exciting as the last couple. I liked 1001 probably the best, between 1000 1003. But I think this one, there like it's hard competition, honestly. Um, and I'm not ranking the manga overall. Obviously, One Piece is the GOAT, and then several tiers down, we can talk about that later. But let me know what you guys think about this kind of video, because this is new for me. Obviously, we'll adjust this format and get better at this. This is pretty unprofessional. There's lots of like hesitation in a lot of things I'm doing. And then let me know what kind of videos you want to see. Like, not even specifically One Piece. Obviously, I have the Enma video coming up, but like, if you want more general like anime or manga content, let me know down below. Beyond that, that's all I have to say for you guys, and I hope you have a great day.